Hey everyone, it is Reed. I am 27, just a normal dude who used to be broke and clueless about everything money life and honestly even how I use my phone. So in this video, I want to share how I organize my phone for productivity, mental clarity, and just keeping my sanity intact in my 20s. One of my friends recently put it like this: your phone is basically the remote control for your life at this point. And I thought about that, and honestly, he is right. The amount of time we spend on these devices is insane. I saw some stats recently that the average person spends like 6 to 7 hours a day staring at a screen. That is almost a full work day just scrolling, tapping, and swiping. And truth is, you are probably watching this video on your phone right now, so having a phone that is organized and not cluttered, I think, is just as important as having an apartment that is clean and organized. If your phone is a total mess with 100 different apps scattered everywhere and notifications popping off all the time, that chaos bleeds into your brain. I know, because my phone used to be exactly like that. I had games I never played, apps I downloaded once and forgot about, dozens of shopping apps, food delivery apps, random stuff from nights out when I was drunk and thought I needed some dumb app. It was a big mess, and honestly, it was making me feel more stressed and scattered than I even realized at the time. So I want to show you what my phone looks like now. I am going to walk through every single app on here, and each one actually has a purpose. Quick heads up though, you are going to notice throughout this video that I really use my phone for utility. That is just how I roll. I don't really use it for entertainment or gaming or scrolling endlessly. I use it for work messaging and practical stuff. I don't have Netflix on here. I don't have any games. I don't have TikTok, honestly. That is just my personal choice. I am not telling you that you can have fun stuff on your phone. If you love playing games or watching shows on your phone, go for it. But for me personally, I realized that every time I picked up my phone for entertainment, I lose 30 minutes an hour, sometimes 2 hours, without even noticing. And in my 20s, that time is too valuable. I could be learning a skill, working on a side hustle, reading a book, or honestly just living my life not staring at a screen. So if you take nothing else from this video, just know that this is my setup and you got to find what works for you. But if you are feeling overwhelmed by your phone right now, stick around because some of these tips might help. All right, let me actually get into it. I want to start with notifications because I think this is the biggest game changer. We talk about my lock screen, my home screen, and then each individual app. Let us start with the background and lock screen. As you can see, I have a solid black lock screen and background looks boring, I know, but I do this for two reasons. First, a black screen draws the least amount of energy from my phone, so my battery lasts longer. If I had a bright white background or some fancy wallpaper, it drains more power. Black is just conservative there. Second reason, I don't have a dog or a girlfriend or a wife to put as my background, so yeah, it is just black. Been like this for a couple years. Simple, and I don't have to think about it. Honestly, the less decisions I have to make in a day, the better. That is something I learned the hard way. When I was 22, I was making so many dumb little decisions every day about stupid stuff like what wallpaper to use, what song to listen to, what to eat for lunch, that I had no mental energy left for the important stuff like my budget, my career, my health. So simplifying the small stuff saved my brain for the big stuff. You also notice I have 0 notifications showing on my home screen. That is because I turned off almost all of my notifications. I am also on airplane mode right now because I am up in the mountains and service is spotty, but usually I keep my notifications very minimal. Think about this for a second. The average person gets a notification every 10 minutes, maybe more. Every single time your phone buzzes or lights up, that breaks your focus. You are reading a book, studying for a test, working on a project, and bam, your phone buzzes. Even if you don't check it, your brain gets distracted. It takes like 20 minutes to get back into a deep focus state after a distraction. So if you get 5 or 6 notifications an hour, you are basically never in a deep focus state all day. That is a huge problem. I realized this when I was trying to learn how to invest and manage my money better. I'd sit down to research stocks or learn about retirement accounts, and my phone would buzz, and suddenly I am looking at Instagram for 45 minutes. So I changed things. I put my phone into work mode or focus mode basically all the time. This lets me set specific people who can reach me. And very close friends can still contact me because if there is an emergency, I want them to be able to get through. And then I allow notifications from specific apps. Things like FaceTime, Google Calendar, Notes, Signal, timers, practical stuff. Everything else is silenced. I have this running pretty much 24/7. My goal is to have my phone vibrate and notify me as few times as possible throughout the day. Ideally 0 unless it is important. And you know what happened when I did this? My anxiety went way down. I stopped feeling that phantom phone vibration in my pocket. I started sleeping better because I was checking my phone before bed. I actually finished books for the first time since college, and I saved money too because I was getting notifications from shopping apps tempting me to buy stuff I didn't need. That was a big one for my wallet. When I was younger, I get a notification that my favorite brand had a sale, and I instantly spend $50 I didn't have. Turning off those notifications probably saved me hundreds of dollars a year. Now let me walk you through my actual phone layout. I have 3 pages of apps. I'll go over each one and why it is there. Right off the bat, you notice how utility focused my phone is. Again, that is just me. Starting with the bottom row, I have phone. Yes, I keep notifications on for calls because if someone calls, it is probably important messages. This one gives me anxiety. Honestly, I have 436 unread messages right now. I know that is terrible. I am not perfect. I don't really know what to do about it. I don't want to miss important messages, but I also can keep up with every group chat and random text. If you have advice on this, let me know because I am still figuring it out. Then email. I actually used to not have email on my phone at all. I recently re-downloaded it for one main reason too. Factor authentication and quickly checking something when I am not at my computer. But here is the key. I have 0 notifications for email. I think this is the first thing everyone should do. Turn off email notifications. Check your email once a day at the end of the day. Or in the morning, I do it once a day on my computer. That is it. You don't need to know the second someone sends you an email. Trust me, 99% of emails can wait. And then of course the camera app, I use this all the time for taking photos of documents, receipts, things I need to remember. I also take photos of my whiteboard where I track my monthly budget and savings goals. That way I always have my financial targets with me. Going from the top of my first page, I have notes. This is probably the app I use most on my phone. I throw everything in here: video ideas, checklists, tasks I need to do for the week, random thoughts, and reminders. It is basically a big messy board where I dump all my mental clutter, and that is actually another productivity hack for you. Your brain is for having ideas, not for holding them. If you try to remember everything, you forget half of it and stress about the other half. Write it down, get it out of your head. I still journal a lot on physical paper because there is something about writing by hand that helps me process my thoughts better. But for quick capture, notes is essential, and the best part, it is free. Then I have a bunch of Google apps. Pretty self-explanatory. Signal is a messaging app I use a lot. I like it because of the security. They don't store your messages on servers for very long, so it is great for private conversations. If you care about your privacy at all, Signal is worth checking out. Slack I use for a couple of businesses I am part of. WhatsApp here is a fun fact I learned. People outside the United States mainly use WhatsApp. I use it for all my European friends, South American friends, Asian friends, pretty much everywhere, except the US. In America, most people just use SMS or iMessage. It is wild how different the communication habits are around the world. And ClickUp. This is my task management app. I use it to manage employees' projects and my own to-do list. I might do a whole video on how I use ClickUp because it has been a lifesaver for staying organized, especially when I was working on building my side hustles. When I was younger, I had 0 organization. I have sticky notes everywhere. Random notebooks, half-finished tasks everywhere. It was chaos. Getting a proper task management system was one of the best things I did for getting my life together. Let me go to my second page. First thing you notice is the big Google Maps widget. I have it as a large widget because I use it constantly. But also because if you are biking or driving and you need to quickly check directions, having a big tap target is way better than hunting for a tiny app icon. I think widgets are underrated. A couple well-placed widgets can make your phone way more functional. I also use a calendar widget so I can see my schedule at a glance. That helps me plan my days better, and I am someone who needs structure. When I was 22, I had 0 structure. I'd wake up whenever I felt like it, waste hours on my phone, and then wonder why I was broke and stuck. Once I started using widgets to keep my schedule and map in front of me, I got way more done. Then I have other utilities. Photos, Uber, I don't think we need to explain those. iOverlander is a great app if you do any camping. I've been living in my truck for a bit, traveling around, so this app lets me find campsites. People upload spots where they've camped, and it is crowdsourced. If you are into camping or van life, check it out. Honestly, living in my truck taught me a lot about minimalism and saving money. I realized I didn't need half the stuff I was spending money on. That is a whole other video though. Now I have 4 finance apps here. Truth be told, I could have 100 finance apps on my phone. I've tried almost all of them because I make finance videos on my channel, but I only keep 4. I do most of my banking and investing on my desktop. I separate that from my phone. Why? Because when investing is on your phone, it is too easy to check prices obsessively. You end up looking at your portfolio 20 times a day, and that drives anxiety and bad decisions. I learned that lesson when I first started investing. I check my Robinhood app every hour, and if the market dropped, I panic. Keeping my main investing on my desktop helped me stay long-term focused. But here's what I have: Robinhood I use to quickly check stock prices during the day. Just to glance, not to trade emotionally. Fundrise is an app I really like. It's actually an investing platform that lets you invest in real estate without having to do the heavy lifting yourself. Personally, I didn't want to go find properties, buy them, find tenants, and unclog toilets when something breaks. That sounds like a headache, so I invest through Fundrise, which streamlines the process. They have 5 different plans, from a starter plan up to a premium plan. Most people do the core plan, which has a pretty reasonable minimum. The fees are really low too. 0.15% annual advisory fee and up to 0.85% for asset management. I've talked to a lot of people in real estate investing, and those fees are extremely competitive. So if you want to start investing in real estate without buying a physical property, Fundrise is worth checking out. Real estate is one of those asset classes that regular people like me can actually use to build wealth over time. And in your 20s, even small amounts invested in real estate can grow a lot thanks to compound growth. Then I have KuCoin for checking crypto prices. I keep a small position in crypto, nothing crazy, because I know it is volatile. I learned that lesson the hard way too. Bought some crypto during a hype phase, watched it go up, got greedy, didn't sell, and watched it crash. Now I treat crypto as a small speculative part of my portfolio. Like money I am okay losing. And YenAD Savings, which is another finance tool, LinkedIn for networking, Audible for audiobooks, SoundCloud, and Spotify for music and podcasts. Most of these are straightforward. I also have 2 social media apps, Instagram and Twitter. Instagram, honestly, if I make this video next year, I probably won't have it on my phone. I don't really like it that much, but I feel like I kind of need it because I make videos and I need to update people. I have some followers there, but I try not to have notifications on. Sometimes they pop up in the background, but they don't buzz or wake my phone. I mostly use Instagram as a messaging app for friends. Twitter, I absolutely love. I just started using it more recently. There are so many smart people on there sharing investing ideas and life advice. If you want to follow me there, I post a lot about investing and personal finance. It has become my favorite social platform, honestly, because the conversations are more meaningful than just looking at photos. I also have CNBC and Wall Street Journal for news. I try to stay informed, but I don't obsess over news either. Most financial news is just noise designed to make you anxious and trade more. I check headlines once a day, and that is it. Let me move to my third page, only a few apps here, and you are probably thinking, Nate, did you just delete all your apps before filming this? Number here is my rule of thumb. If I use an app less than once a week, I delete it. If I need it again, I just re-download it. For example, I have American Airlines because I fly them often. I don't have United, Frontier, Spirit, Norwegian, or any others because I don't use them. If I need one, I download it, use it, and delete it when I am done. No app graveyard on my phone. I don't want 100 apps, cluttering my phone, slowing it down, and cluttering my brain. This rule alone probably cut my apps from 80 down to maybe 25, and my phone runs faster, my battery lasts longer, and I spend less time doom scrolling through apps I don't even use. I also have Telegram, another messaging app. There are so many messaging apps, it is annoying, but I need them for business and work. I have a membership, so I use the app to book spaces. Discord, I am in a couple groups there. That is pretty much it, and that is my phone, simple, intentional, focused on utility. I could show you more apps, but most of the ones on my other pages are duplicates or things I already mentioned. The point is, your phone should serve you, not the other way around. When I was younger, my phone controlled me. I wake up and reach for it immediately. I check social media before I even got out of bed. I scroll during meals, during conversations, during work. It was eating up my time, my focus, and honestly my money too, because I was constantly seeing ads and buying stuff I didn't need. Once I took control of my phone, I took control of a lot of other parts of my life. My productivity went up, my spending went down. My mental health improved, and I started making real progress on my financial goals. Look, I hope this video was helpful. This is not a prescription for everyone. You might love having games on your phone or watching Netflix on the go. That is totally fine. This is just what works for me as a normal 27-year-old guy trying to build wealth and get his life together. The key is to be intentional. Ask yourself, does this app add value to my life? Does this notification need my attention right now? Does my phone help me or hurt me? If you can answer those questions honestly, you'll start making better choices with your time, attention, and money, and those small choices add up over time to a completely different life. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you got something out of this. If you want more videos on personal finance, minimalism, and getting your life together in your 20s, hit that subscribe button.